We have done The Rise of Skywalker, we've done The Last Jedi, so naturally, it's time to do The Force Awakens. Although this film is better than both, it is still plagued with some incredibly terrible lines that rival The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. Here are the 5 worst lines in The Force Awakens. Coming in at number 5, we have not only a ridiculous line, but the scene itself is completely nonsensical at all. It is,
"You're afraid that you will never be as strong as Darth Vader."
I just don't get this line. How does Rey know who Darth Vader is? She knows basically nothing about Kylo Ren except the fact that he is the big bad guy who is a Sith, which she also does not know anything about, but yet is able to deliver this critical line with confidence, telling the audience Kylo Ren's insecurity as the main antagonist. Which brings me on to the biggest issue with this line. Why and how is Rey able to withstand Kylo's Force interrogation and then use it against him? She has had 0 training in the Force, literally 0. This just completely disqualifies all of the previous credibility Kylo had when using the Force. Because if some random girl who has had no training in the Force whatsoever can dunk on you like that, Kylo, are you really a Sith? Oh wait, I almost forgot. It makes 100% sense because Rey is a Palpatine and also a Skywalker at the same time, so it automatically means she is instantly better than everyone at everything. Of course, that is my fault. At number 4 is a line that is actively questioning the viewer's intelligence. It's spoken by Rey, and it is,
"What fight? The only fight."
This is quite an unusual line in the sequels because it undermines Rey's competence as a character when, according to the movies and everything we've seen in the entire sequel trilogy, she is the greatest living being in the entire universe, who is better than everyone at everything. What do you mean, what fight? Weren't you just being chased by the First Order? You are very clearly aware of who the Resistance is because you know Finn is a part of the Resistance. And your goal is to bring back BB-8 to the Resistance to actively stop the First Order. What else do they need the map to Luke Skywalker for? To invite him to tea? This line is a perfect reflection of the sequel trilogy as a whole, constantly reiterating what the entire plot is to the viewers over and over again without actually giving specifics. For someone as overpowered and amazing as Rey Skywalker, it's incredibly hilarious that she has no idea what is going on during that scene. Coming in at 3 is a line that's so terrible and nonsensical, I had to pause the movie just to fully comprehend what I was actually watching. It is a combination of both Rey and Finn.
Han Solo, the rebellion general?
No, the smuggler.
Right.
It's understandable that Rey might not know who Han Solo is. I mean, she was born on a dump of a planet that totally does not look like Tatooine at all, with little to no communication from other planets. So maybe she doesn't know a lot about, the battle between the Empire and the Rebellion, even though there's a massive Star Destroyer on the planet. But we'll ignore that. But for her to only know Han Solo as the smuggler just makes no sense at all. I mean, Rey somehow knows about Luke Skywalker, the legend of the Millennium Falcon, but only knows Han Solo as a smuggler. What are we even doing here? The Rebellion fighting and defeating the Empire didn't happen centuries ago. Not some ancient historical lore that is passed down from generation to generation until eventually becoming a myth. It happened 30 years ago. How would you not know who Han Solo is? And better yet, how do you know who he is, but only as a smuggler? It actually blows my mind. It is incredible how selectively convenient Rey's knowledge about the past is. The film clearly wants to portray the events that happened in the last movies as mythical lore and legend, but also wants to include all the characters from the previous films for nostalgia bait, which sets up these scenes that are incredibly dumb and don't really make sense at all. The second worst line in The Force Awakens is absolutely hilarious. After this line, I knew we were cooked. It's a line that gets worse and worse every time you rewatch it. Spoken from none other than Rey Skywalker / Palpatine / nobody / junk trader daughter herself.
What'd you do?
I bypassed the compressor.
I mean, damn it! It never, ever goes our way!
I mean, what doesn't this line have? Piloted the ship for 30 years, old man? Well, I've piloted the ship for 30 minutes. get dunked on, I know more than you. They didn't even try to make it seem super technical, with Rey typing in a bunch of stuff or hacking into the ship's mainframe or whatever. She literally just tore something out of the Falcon and it was fixed. It's the equivalent of unplugging and plugging back in a TV to see if it works now. Han doesn't even have anything to say. He just sits there with a blank face like, wow, this random person knows how to fly and work my ship better than I do. What makes this line even worse is that there is zero merit to Rey being able to do this at all. The film wants to portray her as the new Luke Skywalker, but puts zero effort into making the viewers believe she is. J.J. Abrams kind of just forces it onto the audience by having Rey be super overpowered and knowledgeable about everything with zero explanation at all or character building. Rey's face was my face when I saw this scene and heard this line for the first time. Before getting into the worst line in The Force Awakens, here are some honorable mentions. Some quotes that were bad in their own right, but, you know, didn't quite make it into the top 5.
I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
The Jedi were real.
That's not how the Force works.
And I will finish what you started.
And finally, the worst line in The Force Awakens. This line is absolutely incredible, and it is that of the same quality and laziness as somehow Palpatine returned. What else but...
A good question. For another time.
60% of the time, it works every time.
I mean, do I even need to explain it? Luke's lightsaber just spawns in and Maz hands it to them and everyone's like, wait a minute, where did you get that? And then the answer is, good question, but for another time.
Really?
J.J. Abrams couldn't even give us half an answer as to why this random alien suddenly has Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. So instead, we just get don't worry about it, we'll explain it later. And then they never explain it later. But that's not the point of the scene. Who cares about logic? You know, look, it's Luke's lightsaber. See, it's so cool. It shouldn't matter where it came from. All that matters is that it's right here, and Rey Skywalker's gonna hold it soon. What an immaculate line of dialogue right there. It's such a great, terrible line because it even acknowledges that, yes, it is really stupid that a random alien we have never even heard of has Luke's lightsaber, and then proceeds to be like, but we aren't gonna explain it, so just deal with it and accept it. An absolute all-time line in the Star Wars saga. That is peak laziness and bad writing. There you have it, guys. The 5 worst lines in The Force Awakens. Let me know what lines are the worst in your opinion in the comments below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to join the family. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
A good question. For another time.